What is going on, my Atomic Autoworks friends? So one thing that drives me crazy is everybody's trying to make everything we do so high tech that it's scaring some people to get into our industry, and they're saying it's impossible to do with lower priced items, from tools to equipment and all that type of stuff. So I figured, what the heck? Today, let's actually bring in the shop.
In a secret location, deep in the countryside of New England, lies your favorite grassroots car brand, Atomic Autoworks Garage.
Show you some tools. We're going to go through and do a little review on a Harbor Freight spray gun, and we're also going to show you some of the products that we really like and enjoy, which aren't super inexpensive, but they're definitely a really good bang for your buck, and the SEM Rust Shield is one of them. So as you can see, some of the parts behind me are already painted, and we have to come in and just touch a few things up. We want to show you that, so now you can see what it's like using the spray gun, what we actually did with it, and how it sprayed, and our opinion of it. And then also you can see the actual Rust Shield. Now, with the SEM Rust Shield, I want to tell you that we did use the catalyst, and we did do it slightly reduced. The first time we sprayed it, we actually sprayed it with a different gun because our 2.0 tip gun was actually broken from the previous employees that were here, and we didn't have time to run out to grab another one, so we used one of our 1.4 tip Iwata Supernovas and sprayed everything. So we reduced it, it sprayed nice, a little tough to come out of the gun. So I said, you know what, we need to get one quick. So we ran over to Harbor Freight, right down the street, grabbed the 1.8 tip Siphon feed gun and sprayed it with that. That one actually puts on so much material. I wish I didn't reduce it, and because I had to choke up the actual fluid nozzle a little bit, but it worked spectacular. And this way, if you're at your house and you want to do something, you can do it. You know, it's the hard part about our industry now is everybody says you have to have state-of-the-art this, and all that. And if you want to be productive and profitable in a business, yes, you need all that stuff to do it, because the auto body business and our car world is all about production and productivity, and that's the only way to make money. But that doesn't mean you can't do it at your house and have fun. So let's get started. Here we're going to give you a twofer tool and product review today. We had a 2.0 tip gun that we use for gel coat and some really heavy paints, but unfortunately the staff we had last year broke it. So when we went to go use it, it wasn't there, so we had to buy a Harbor Freight one. This is their central pneumatic. It's a 1.8 tip. I believe it was only like $26, right? So a lot of people knock these cheap guns. For stuff like this, it's great. And if you clean them and take care of them, they work out really well. I don't know if you were to use one of these every single day, if it would be, how long it would last or whatever. But for this stuff, we already sprayed it. I'm gonna go through. Lewis just went. Lewis is our cameraman today again. And he went and just flipped all the stuff over so we can make sure that we didn't miss any spots, because when you hang this stuff, a lot of times you'll get the bottom of them, you might miss or something like that. So he changed everything around and flipped it over so we could do that. So basically, this gun with the 1.8 tip and the SEM Rust Shield that we used, which is a great product. When we used a regular spray gun that wasn't a big 1.8 tip, it really didn't come out. It was tough to get it out. It's definitely made to go on a little bit thicker, and it flows out amazing. So I grabbed this 1.8 tip, and honestly, the 1.8 tip dumps it on. I actually had to choke it up a little bit. Normally you have your fluid all the way up and you adjust from your wall for the air pressure. With this one, we couldn't do that, so I actually choked the fluid nozzle in so that we had a little bit less material and put it on. I was worried about it coming off very heavy, but if you look at the texture this stuff has, it lays out really nice. And the thing I love about this is it's not too shiny and it's not too flat. If you ever get underneath the vehicle and you look at some of the chassis parts, and obviously this, well, I shouldn't say it's not a show vehicle, because it is a show vehicle. There's different levels of show vehicles. If you were to bodywork the chassis and go through every part and prime it and sand it and paint it, you get an incredible look. Not every vehicle has that budget. This one here, when you want to just strip it down, epoxy it, and put this stuff on it, is completely amazing for what it does. So now if you were to look underneath the vehicle and it had flat black paint on it, it always chalks up a little bit, and everything that touches it kind of leaves a mark. And then if it's shiny, it looks very cheap. You know, like a lot of times people will go and they'll put like a Rust-Oleum or a really shiny paint on their chassis, and you look underneath it and it's like very in your face. I don't like that. This is the best of both worlds. I can't say enough about this product. Actually, it was funny because Bill, who worked here, kind of turned us on to it, because we were using a different product from SEM, which was their trim black, which I love. So a lot of times we would paint something, epoxy it, put a black base coat on it, and then go over it with the trim black, because I love that look. but this kind of has that trim black, but it almost lays out like a really nice powder coat. Very nice product. So this gun and that product actually work very well together. It does dump it on, but for 20 some odd dollars, that's all it costs. So if you look at what we sprayed here, it actually, when it comes out of the gun, it's obviously shiny. And whenever you spray things that are black, they shine a little bit more. One of the things you really want to be careful of whenever you put black on is going too wet, because a lot of times you want to put it down, you want to see that shine, you really like it, but it's very easy to make it really thick. So on this stuff, it did go on pretty thick, but as it flashes, if you come over and look at it here, what's great about this is you can see there was texture here. There was no body work done to any of the parts, and it just has a nice even cover over it, a nice texture, and it hides a lot of the pitting from the rust on it. I can't say enough about how good this product is, and when it's dry, it's hard as a rock. Lewis just brought something to my attention. He said the gallon of the rust shield somewhere's around $130. Catalyst is around 55 or something like that. Don't quote me, it's probably different everywhere, but you can look it up. But let me grab it, I'll show you the rust shield. So you can see here, we keep this on hand all the time in our mixing bank. But this here, rust shield corrosion control coating. It doesn't really have a part number in here, does it? Oh, it's underneath the thing here. Yeah, so okay, anyways, I'll put it in the link in the description what the part number is here. And then this was just a spray gun that we got, like I said, from Harbor Freight. It was, I think, $26. What can you get for 26 bucks? Well, we just sprayed all these parts for 26 bucks. So it definitely worked. It did its job. I'm not going to go and spray a $500,000 car with this thing just because it doesn't atomize it. And that's the one big thing that you'll notice with the lower price guns compared to the higher price guns. It's just like any tool. If you buy an expensive tool, the reason you do that is because it has a longer work life. It lasts longer. So if you're going to be using this every day and going, it's going to have a better longevity. This will actually last a long time because, believe it or not, we actually use this in our upholstery shop for glue and adhesive, and they last as long as forever until someone drops it and breaks it. So we've never had a problem. So they definitely last a long time. But you will see they don't atomize it well. It is what it is. This is made to dump the material on, put it on wet, whereas a higher spray gun atomizes the paint, and that just turns it into finer particles so it lays out smoother without building up a lot of material. But on this stuff, you kind of want that buildup because you want to hide any of the rust and any of the texture coatings or problems that are underneath it. So once again, I highly recommend this stuff for doing it at your house. You can see the results, so make sure to get out, try it, and do it. One thing I forgot to mention, with all these parts, if you look at all these little parts, right? They came in rusty, covered in grease, very dirty, and all that stuff. I was lucky enough to just come in, spray them, do this little video for you. Well, poor old Lewis had to take in, let's switch this around and put Lewis on the camera. So, what did you do to these products?
So every single nut, bolt, washer, flange, everything, the Dana 44 and the 9-inch had to degrease, decrud, tape up, make sure the threads don't get clogged with the paint. Had to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. Very
How much grease was on here?
A lot. It's definitely from the 70s. I'm pretty sure there was some grease and oil older than me on this.
What do you? What's your opinion on the product after all that work?
I really like this product, and I can't wait to start using it on my own personal project because I just found out. I believe they have like 6 or 7 different colors, mainly different blacks, but they also have International Harvester Red. So I might be painting some parts red, and maybe I'll get Ed to record me doing it.